Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm currently freezing my arse off as we speak because it's 11 degrees outside, but feels like -3. This is not what I signed up for in Texas, and I am very butthurt about it. um, again, I guess I'll have to get over it with my little space heater and deal with it. Um, However, my youngest, two, they are warm and cozy. So that's all that matters. Um, so there we go. But if anybody else is freezing, I feel your pain. If anybody has autoimmune or thyroid issues or anything that would make uh, it painful to be cold, I feel you. I'm struggling with that. I have Hashimoto's, so anytime that I feel a change in temperature, it's like needles, pins and needles going through my entire body. It hurts. Um, I think tomorrow night here in Texas, we're going to get some sleet and snow at night and into the morning. So that's just going to be lovely for the drivers out there. Because I don't know if you knew this, but Texans driving in any kind of ice or snow, they lose every bit of sense and common sense and knowledge about what to do and what not to do. And you end up just staying home anyway because the roads are blocked from idiots. Not to mention our roads are not meant for this. So the whatever they use to pave the roads and what they put on it to treat them before a storm makes them crumble, crack. It's awful. So we do everything wrong. Everything else in Texas, we do pretty good. Not this, right? Because it only happens once every 2 years, 3 years tops. So anyway, glad you all are here. Let me make sure that my chat is working on the screen. Well, smack my ass. I like that. I like that. She says, I've had a lot of visions about Michael. He is not deceased, but very much alive. I have told law enforcement this, and I believe Michael is in another state. Wow. Well, if you can sleuth and do the work and prove your, or at least have some kind of backup to the spiritual claim, because I do the same, please let law enforcement know. I hope that you're right, because that means that he would be able to come back home. But thank you for sharing that, love. Hi, Widow. So happy you are here, Chris. Now, everybody, please give a round of applause to the new content creator extraordinaire. Chris is the one who had Hunter on her panel. Was it yesterday or the day before? It's so cold, my brain can't work. It doesn't work right. I think it was yesterday. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but she was the one that had Hunter and his guardian, and I believe sister on panel, clearing up the misinformation of everything that was going on. Andrew Hilt can eat a bag of dicks and eat a bag of fake tits, whatever he has to do to make him look as silly as he is. And I hope nothing but negativity for you, sir. And that's where I'm going to leave that. I don't, nor will I dive into that drama. It's been cleared up enough, and Chris was the one to help do that. Thank you. So hearts to Chris for doing that. I appreciate hearing the truth. And she was able to give that platform to Hunter and his family. So, and I pray for Allie, and I hope that everything works out the way that it's supposed to, and that they can have some privacy now, right? And not let grifters take advantage of that. Lisa, good to see you. Brooke OG Mod, thank you for being here. Who else we got? Y'all might want to come in here and stay. Grab your friends. Hey, Jeep. Hey, I was a minute late. That's not bad. So I'm just glad you're here. and thank you for being a member. Daphne, good to see you. And if I missed anybody or if you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit that like button while you're here. Try not to fall asleep. Because you know me, lately I've been having to do these little numbers to make sure that you're awake and alert, because I tend to put people to sleep, especially in the evenings. Some say I have a ASMR voice and I'm in the wrong business, but I feel like I can give it a shot. But I think I'm in the right business, being an advocate to the best of my ability. Cyber Ninja says frozen tundra, no joke. I feel like I am in the 12th level of hell, where it officially freezes over. My fingers are stiff and cracked because, again, I have Hashimoto's, which makes everything react when there's temperature changes. But I'll be all right. So what is this live about? Well, if you haven't been up to date on everything, just a quick recap. Stacey Wandra was on Crime Lines and Lies, did a 3-part interview, discussing and expressing his side of things, what he saw. And then the last live was a bombshell. And the more that I listen to it, the more that I actually realize. And so, you know me, if there's 3, okay, this is how I am if you don't know me. If somebody says 3 sentences, okay, I'll go listen to those 3 sentences over and over. I'll step away, think about those things, and then I'll come back and listen to it again. And I tell you something, you could always find the truth if you look at it from all sides and then look at what makes the most sense with the surrounding factors. Sometimes you can overanalyze something to death. So I try to better myself on not doing that. But that's where the sleuthing comes in, where you have to go, well, is this legitimate, possible, or not possible? Brooke knows. Brooke knows that I will chew the flavor out of bubblegum and then do it some more until I get to the answer. All right, so what am I talking about? What's going on? So after the 3-part interview, I was just calmly eating my Cheerios, and there was a Twitter notification that said, join me tonight on the whatever news it was, KTVB. I'm Morgan Romero. I'm sitting down with an exclusive interview with Stacey Wandra as he tells me his side of the story regarding the Michael Vaughan case. And I went, oh man, thank God. Thank God the news is doing their job and getting the information out that's outside of YouTube, because now we have not only 3 interviews to compare to what he's about to say in an interview that airs tonight at, I believe, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, but we also have the beginning. We have the beginning stages of Michael Vaughan's case to compare, as well as new things along the way, plus actual public information requested, documents, police logs, reports that you'll probably only find on this channel. So you're in for a real treat, because you know me, if I can analyze something to death, it's going to make my day. It might drive you crazy, but you're going to find a little gem along the way. I can't tell you how many times somebody has listened to me and came up with a theory that no one has thought of that actually became tip-worthy, if you will. So you never know. You never know. Eve, a dog with a bone that won't quit. Perfectly stated. Rough, rough. Now, just don't let that be a dog bone to be smacked behind your head where you call the police and cry wolf. Tanner Butler, dog bone looking ass. Let's not take that too far. All right. Rambling here. So, again, the interview is going to air tonight. I'm going to play that little clip real fast. It's not very long at all. It's literally 30 seconds, but I wanted to let everybody know that hasn't been up to date or needs a refresher. So give me just a moment. Oh, and by the way, a lot of people don't know that I'm on Twitter. If you want to follow me, it's my handle is at Eve_EVP Talk. And there's a lot of updates and stuff that I chit chat on regarding multiple cases. But right now it's the Karen Reed case. And I got like 16,000 views on a very important thing that I discovered, which Karen Reed, accused of hitting her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, and killing him with her vehicle. But it was outside of a fellow Boston PD's house, blah, 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 blah. We believe that she was framed, cover up, blah, blah, blah. But there was a 2-minute library footage that would show Karen Reed being where she is supposed to be, and that her tail light was not shattered, which is the alleged proof that she killed John O'Keefe with her car. And I realized that one of the investigators saw this footage, but now it is missing. And it damn well probably could have exonerated her ass, as she should be, free Karen Reed. But it's gone. However, the court documents with the probable cause state that he, in fact, saw it with his own peepers. But after, he gave it to the DA's office, poof, like sprinkled taillight dust, it has disappeared. So, I think I'm onto something. Yeah, I think I'm onto something. Especially when you get the troll threats. I mean, I had one of the what should have been a suspect, in my opinion, allegedly for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is proven or innocent until proven guilty by law. So, thank you, Brooke. I had it pulled up, but I appreciate that. That is my Twitter account. So, here it is. This one's 7.7, 7.5, let's say, 1,000 views. I'm kind of proving my point that it was a setup. But here is the interview with Stacey Wandra.
I have no idea.
Sunday at 10, a 7 Investigates exclusive interview with Stacey Wandra, a man accused of being involved in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan over 2 years ago. Stacey agreed to speak with me to, quote, clear his name and provide his side of the story on his whereabouts the night Michael disappeared.
I personally know for a fact they don't have anything against me.
Why he says he's innocent. 7 Investigates, Sunday on the news at 10. Were you involved in the disappearance of Michael Vaughan?
No.
Why do police think you were?
I have no idea.
Sunday at 10, a 7 Investigates
So,
exclusive interview with Stacey Wandra, a man.
In my personal opinion, what he has said recently in the interviews, I have sleuthed, as well as others, I have sleuthed this group of people. They actually were sleuthed before there was any wind whatsoever of their alleged involvement or knowledge. And the Karen Reed case coming to my forefront, it's really odd to me because I kind of feel like there's a message there that sometimes police can get it wrong. Sometimes police can do bad things. Sometimes police can set people up. And sometimes a theory that looks and smells and walks like a duck doesn't mean that you got the duck on footage. It doesn't mean that the duck is guilty of a crime, right? Without the evidence of such. So that's just my 2 cents in the matter. So, what do we have from the beginning that would actually help in the Michael Vaughan case? And what's going on in the background in Payette County where um, justice would be served if and when somebody is charged? So I did some sleuthing. I did a lot of sleuthing. And here's the funny thing about being involved in your community, like I talked about in my last live. It's really good to make sure that you know who's in charge and what the money in your town or county is going to. Uh, commissioners meeting minutes, town hall meetings, all of those things need to be looked at least every so often to know what's going on. And so, for instance, Payette County, December 18th, they talk about specific things, and this should be happening in every county or every town that has these things, okay? 2 years, Brooke?
What if
What?
we're still doing this when we're 50? It would be nice to have that kind of job security.
If I'm doing this until I'm 50, I better be damn good at this, or way better than I am now. But as long as I have you lovely people in the chat with me, I think I'll be just fine. Shani, I'm so glad you're here. Nico, so glad you're here. Yes, Chris deserves every sub that she got, and I hope that she can continue if she feels so inclined to do so. She's really good at what she did. Way better than I am in a sense of getting the point out there without rambling. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Oh my God. 2 years almost. 22 months. Round of applause. Thank you so much for being a member. Much love to you. She keeps me on the up and up. She keeps me in line. That's for dang sure. So, commissioners meetings, which is where I get a lot of my information as to what's going on. Now, good Lord, I hope this doesn't change the way that they do their commissioners meetings. I hope, for instance, when I recorded Stacy's court hearing for everyone to see, because not everyone lives in Payette County. Not everyone gets to see who her walking and talking in real time. Everybody wanted to see that, but not everybody could. So I recorded that. Oh, and she gifts 5 memberships. Girl, you really want me to do some readings? I guess I will. Gifted Nico, Lisa Jones, Nature Videos with Sheila.
What if
Deeds on the
we're
Streets.
still doing this when we're 50? It would be nice to have that kind of job security.
So it would go off for each one, so I'm going to pause it. But welcome in, y'all. So glad you joined. Deets on the Streets, welcome, welcome. So let me get to the point here. Some of this is kind of boring. Some of it's kind of juicy, like somebody was dispatched by the sheriff's office to tow something, and somebody went into his glove box. Those are sir, excuse me, I don't care if you're from the sheriff's office or from Timbuktu. Get the hell out of my shit. Do you have a search warrant? So anyway, I thought that was kind of rude. So there's some drama for your mama from time to time. It's kind of cool. This is very interesting that I wanted people to hear. Payette County people, please listen. I know that some of y'all watch my stuff that live there. I actually have family that lives there, and I didn't know it until last year. Um, but we'll get into that another time. So something's going on where security is needed at the jail there at Payette County because of some high-profile cases, from my understanding, that have demanded this. Okay. So security plan at the front lobby of the courthouse. They're going to order 7-foot glass panels to divide the lobby to require visitors to come in through the metal detector. Because, there has been some increased violence and gang activity in the Treasure Valley, if you will. And they want to make sure nobody gets gatted or blasted because of these high profile cases. And I'm sure any case, I think that this is kind of the way the world is now. You just need security everywhere, especially at the courthouse. Things get a little spicy. So he added that the new policy for coverage is being implemented. Brian Bullington will be coming back to the county to serve as security at the lobby beginning January 8th, 2024. Congratulations, Brian. I believe he retired, but now he's coming back because of said security. So, Brandy, I know this is your ex's family, but please let them know. Congratulations. I know that I would want to retire and stay retired, but sometimes when the calling happens, you got to take it. So, cool. Now, I want to remind you, I don't know if anybody keeps up with the Argus Observer, which is the newspaper media that does reporting on Michael's case. But this Kelso person who is on the commissioner's staff, she is the former, I believe, prosecuting attorney or district attorney, rather, whatever it is called. She was the former prosecuting attorney, assistant potentially. Anyway, she was mentioned by Stacey Wandra. Stacey Wandra recently said that his lawyer, Tom, was working with somebody, a former DA's assistant. And I believe that this is who he is talking about. She was interviewed by Argus Observer recently and explained about the grand jury details. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I can certainly play that for you and what she said. But it's really ironic that she, when she was interviewed by Argus Observer, she came back later during the commissioner's meeting and was like, I just want you to know, I was asked questions. I didn't say one way or the other if there was a grand jury. So don't get it twisted. Sit down. Because she was probably getting some backlash for answering some questions, maybe, or maybe she just wanted to clear the air. That's her right. I wouldn't want to be blamed for something that I didn't do. I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. So, yeah. And what's really great? You get to make sure that certain businesses are doing the right thing, as in getting their licenses. So, if there's a business that needs a liquor license and they didn't get approved for one, but they're selling it anyway, hey, make sure that they have it. This is what they're supposed to do. Yes, Nico, I will play that for you. Absolutely. So if you're in the Payette County area, just make sure that there is a alcoholic beverage license approval for Jordan Hines for doing business at Jack Henry Coffee House, a very interesting place in this case that I have searched and researched, which I forgot. I'm so glad I went over this because remember the picture of Sarah and Stacy at the restaurant with the 2 knives in the burger, and everyone was like, oh my God, it's a sign. They're mocking Michael's photo that the babysitter took one day with him crossing a toy, like it's an older toy, and it looks like sticks or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but people were comparing it. All right. Let me just pull it up because people are probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? So I will show you. People were just really up in arms about the pictures. Wake up. You got to see this. Doop, doop, doop. Oh, isn't he handsome? Walking man. Oh, goodness. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Photos. I hate that buzzer. But you know what? I hate having to repeat myself when people fall asleep on me. I'm just kidding. Don't come at me. Don't come at me. Here, we'll do this. It's probably going to come up better if I do Stacy Wandra. I'm not sleeping, says Chris. Well, good. So I know you can't see it, but he has like these two stick things that are crisscrossed. All right. And this was from a picture that, again, the babysitter posted. And again, there was a photo of Stacy and Sarah at a restaurant crisscrossing with knives, it was on a burger. And it was like, God bless America. It was such a big deal. And this is the reason for.
Are you there?
Oh, we're here. We're here, Stacey.
Lie in Fruitland.
Anyway, just trust me. Just trust me. And I found the place. You want to see? I believe this place has shut down. I'm almost positive. But everyone was like, whoa, why did they post this? You bastards, you did something. Blah, blah, blah. See photos, I say. Yes, thank you. Did they change it? Anyway, I'll bring it up in just a second. I have it on my phone. I think that's why I'm not getting it. But they have those knives crisscrossed. It comes with the burger is what I'm trying to tell y'all. It comes with the damn burger. They didn't stick it in the burger and say, ha, 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 we're getting away with bad things and we're making fun of the situation. It was totally taken out of context. And for that, I tell the people that know who did that to eat a bag of. That's all I got to say, because it just fuels the fire that doesn't need to be had. Okay? And that's all I'll say. So, I'll find that here soon, because that was just something that popped up and all that stuff. So let's continue. Let's continue with the commissioner's stuff. So I gave you a little sneak peek preview. You know what, Jeep? I think I messaged you that proof. Remember, I was sitting there sleuthing. I was like, I know I've seen this before. With the burger. You were the one that was having to listen to my craziness for like 30 minutes. But anyway, maybe you could remind me what day that was, because it's on my phone. So the last live that I did, I told everybody that there were some budget adjustments for an indigent and charity fund. What does that mean? Basically, the counties are awarded certain amounts of money depending on how much they needed in the past years and what they're predicting to need in the future. They get approved for these funds for people who can't afford to defend themselves because lawyers are fucking expensive. Very. And sometimes public defenders in certain counties get overburdened. Idaho is a prime example of this because if you look at the Brian Koberger case, I mean, look at what they're dealing with, right? And each county is having to pull resources from the other to cover or defend people. And it's a snowball effect. It just keeps getting worse because there's going to be crimes, especially when your state is becoming a hot spot or a whatever you want to call it for drugs and gang activity. And it's on the rise, fast, quick and in a hurry. So that's what's going on in Idaho. So they were unable to meet what they would say the quality of defending people in these cases. And that's why you would see really horrific offenses being charged down or probation for longer periods of time because they had plenty of probation officers, but not enough district attorneys or prosecuting attorneys. So, which is an injustice in itself. That's not how we run things. That's not how it should be run, etc. Yeah, Shauna King, and especially in a death penalty state, and a DPS qualified attorney, perfectly said and brought up because that is what I'm about to get into. Because you have to be specifically qualified in death penalty, and it takes forever. Like it doesn't just happen overnight. You got to go through a lot of training. It takes a lot of time. Public defenders still make money. Their budgets are probably stretched with all of these big cases. Which, listen, I'm getting tired of these big cases and these attorneys getting away with it. The judges need to start cracking down on some bullshit because they do have the right to say no. So unless you're rich and you commit crimes and you have time to spare and it's not on the taxpayer's dime, I would say the judges need to be held accountable. Right? They need to stop this. Yep, it's kind of a shim-sham. Sometimes I think that attorneys play games just to make their money, and that's not right. That's why we have deadlines and speedy trial rights. And I don't think that there's anything funny about having to wait 5 years, 3 to 5 years for justice and drag a family of a victim through the mud for 3 to 5 years just because the system sucks. But I digress. Cyber Ninja they didn't find anything in the backyard. Well, we don't know exactly what they found. They took things from the backyard and sent it into a private lab. We do not know what that was or what the results are. No matter who wants to say that the evidence is this or that, we don't know. We just don't. So, all of these budget lines, Payette County, right here. So, expert witness, they requested increases from the Indigent and Charity Fund. These are all the things that were added. Expert witness, equipment technology, workload compliant, conflict attorney, public defender investigations, transcript fees, training, and evaluations. I don't know exactly what that means, but anyway, this money was received from a grant to the Indigent and Charity Fund from the Public Defense Commission. So I don't think there's anything left on this. And you could even see the breakdown of finances in your town, which you should get involved in. So what does that mean? Well, let's look at what the Indigent and Charity Fund from the Public Defense Commission, which is being changed to something else in Idaho. They already voted on it. How ironic. Hello, Justice. Meet Justice, Lady Justice. So, this website has kind of the information that lists, how to get this information, how to apply for programs, etc. Training for attorneys, commission information, code and ethics, which is very important. And I kind of went into like what qualifies someone as indigent. Well, it's somebody that can't afford to pay and has no assets whatsoever to even consider selling or whatever, using as collateral to get help, legal help. And there has to be a certified person by the Public Defense Commission who can take the case. Okay? And from what I understand, there is districts like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that Thomas guy that Stacey Wandra had said is his lawyer is on this list. His name is Thomas. So just to make sure that you could see this, I just, how I am. So like you could look at the determination of indigency, etc. Performance report. How did they do? Did they do a good job defending their indigent person? And if not, why? It's very cool to see what happens in these cases. Has a bunch of good stuff here. This is what I like to do on a Friday or Saturday night, y'all. Pretty good. Pretty amazing. There's Idaho workload studies. You get the drift. There's capital defending attorney qualifications, which is really, really like freaking amazing. Yep. So anyway, Stacey's lawyer, Thomas, is on this list. And I'm not going to out him out because it has his email address and all that stuff. But he is, in fact, pro bono, if you think about it. That's what Stacey Wandra said. Because everybody was like, nobody's going to do this pro bono. Nobody does that anymore, blah, blah, blah. Well, see, attorneys, when they say, I'll take this case pro bono, people don't realize that there's things in the background that could help pay for the costs. But they're not going to tell you that because doing stuff pro bono sounds really, really, really nice and sweet. Like, oh, they have a heart. They're going to get paid 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10. So I think his name was Thomas Honegard or something like that. But anyway, he is out of Boise, just like Stacey said, and he could definitely take the case in Payette County to help because he's approved in the district. So that wasn't a lie at all. Not to mention, there are other commissioner meetings that state that Payette County specifically had problems keeping the caseload down. They just didn't have enough defense attorneys to be spread to, throughout the cases. And so they were demanding that they get more help etc. Well, typically you don't get a lot of help when asking for funds for public defenders because they could care less. Now, if the prosecutor said we need help, they'd be like, sure thing. Keep them jails full and busy, right? Because that's just how it works. That's just how it be. Idaho is very well known for guilty until proven innocent, allegedly. Allegedly. So, don't come at me for that. I just heard it from a local. Somebody texted me. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Oh, the Hideaway Grill. I'm so sorry, y'all. I retract my misinformation. Let me smack my hand. Bad Eve. It was not Jack Henry's Coffee House like I thought it was. It is the Hideaway Grill. And I believe Fruitland. That has the knife in the burger thing. Yeah, it's permanently closed, unfortunately. So sad, so sad. But looks like they had great food. All right. Y'all see this photo? Do you see it? Do you see it? Everybody, yeah? That's how it comes. Okay? I don't know how clear I could get that, but I digress. So I wonder if I can find that picture of Stacy and Sarah. I'm going to try because I want people to see the comparison, damn it. Might as well since I've worked so hard to get Jeep Girl to do my work for me. Thank you, Jeep. I appreciate it. By the way, while I'm here, LaWanda Westbrook, if you're listening, go fuck yourself. And secondly, nobody is from Ohio besides you already know who. And third, go fuck yourself. What you said in the chat was false. I just want to tell you that. And please don't speak on things you don't know about. Thank you. Thank you much. All right, I'm going to find that damn picture. Ugh. Unless he deleted it. He is out after all. Ooh, we got to talk about Mr. Alexander St. Germain one of these days, but not today. So here's that picture of Michael that he took and put it on his profile. That was shared by, again, babysitter. Son of a bee sting. He's very upset about his Boo Bear betraying him, apparently. That was a very hot topic in the interviews. Thank you, Jesus. Now, that day, they must have had no black knives, but wooden knives. All right? This was taken August 12th, 2021. You see all these mad faces. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them. And some of these are, people from the chats that talk the most shit. But, yeah. That and Michael's photo somehow made them guilty. Guilty. Even though that's how the burger comes for everyone. So God forbid you were at the Hideaway Grill taking a picture of the burger with the knives and having any connection to sharing a photo of Michael. You are doomed forever. The speculation can get thick, can't it? including the mom, including Michael's mom. Paneling on the wall matched also. Yes, that was one of the biggest things. So how do we go back from the beginning and get the, public document stuff and just compare and contrast? How's that going to help Eve? You've already gone over this. What are you talking about? Get a life. Well, first of all, I do need to get a hobby. That's for sure. But right now it's too cold. There might be something that we can do just in case Stacy is telling the full truth. And let's just say this was a really bad investigative lead that turned into a nothing burger. And let's just say no grand jury would ever find them guilty. And they're actually not. Okay. What can we do to connect some of the dots going around? What happened in the investigation process? What was going on? Now that Stacy has said, we saw a boy on the sidewalk a few houses up, but it wasn't Michael. If anybody needs to hear that, let me know. If anybody needs to rehash that part of the interview, I will be more than happy to do so. You just put a 1 in the chat right now and we can go over it. But I think that we can connect some of the things that maybe locals were talking about during the time of the actual search, what they did, what they didn't do, what did they see, what did they observe, did somebody post something that didn't seem relevant until all of this stuff came out? Well, let me just pull up something that I think you would appreciate in a sense of information. So a lot of times you will see on police reports or at least call logs in your area or any area, delayed reporting. So sometimes it takes a few days to even realize, locals to realize that something happened or that they saw something or whatever the case may be. They were on vacation. They had ring footage. They just got home 2 days later. They heard the news that a boy was missing and they're like, shit, I got that. Let me call law enforcement and send that in. All right. So 2 days after Michael Vaughan was reported missing at 7:21 p.m., neighbors or people that were around at the time explained that there was a male in a white shirt and a female in a black shirt on the corner of Southwest 8th and South Whitley. There are 2 other reports that kind of explain someone else or 2 other groups of people seeing the same thing. It never really clarifies if it was on that day, but I'm assuming that because this is a field interview where where they called in and asked to speak to a police officer, that this is probably more than likely connected to that day. And I thought to myself, very, very interesting. Very interesting. They spoke for a good 10 minutes. Okay. It only takes 2 seconds to get there, literally, because it's right down the road. And this was, this was done on 7:29. Let me see, Southwest 8th and South Whitley, which is right down the street from the police station and from MJ's home. So it blocked out everything else, as it should, because that's people's private information. Do not contact or reach out to these people. Miss Eve will make sure that you will hear about it. But there's 2 other reports that kind of say the same thing, same redaction. You don't get to see much except for we saw a white man with a white shirt on and a female with a black shirt on. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you remember, There was a jogging man that needed to come forward and a man in the drainage ditch area behind the splash pad that they were looking for. They still have not spoken to the drainage ditch man, but they have a pretty good idea who it is, which I didn't think otherwise. Let's just say that. I always felt like they knew exactly who it was. And I do not think it was Cesar Garrido. That's for sure. But I can't be 100% on that. Okay? So walking man. Let's pull up a photo of the walking man. The secret walking man. Now, I've always felt that this guy and like these two pictures were very different and manipulated. Could it be two different people? I don't know. I don't think so. But it's not Adrian, for fuck's sakes. That's for sure, Brooke. Shame on you, Bullhorn Betty. I was just kidding with you and being kind of fun. And then she commented, called me an idiot and some other words. And I was like, this bitch. And then I thought, if she's calling me bad words, I'm doing something right. So I was happy again. So I just feel like this picture and this picture. See, this guy's long. This guy ain't. This guy has long drawers on. This one doesn't. It does not. Did they squish it down on purpose to make it look? I don't know. I really don't. But this guy has a full beard and this dude seems to not. I mean, did somebody put a shirt on, took off a shirt and put it on another shirt? Another, put the same shirt on to confuse the detectives or whatever? I don't know. It just doesn't look the same to me. And I've always felt that way. I don't know. But it is manipulated. You can obviously tell that these pictures were manipulated because this is blurred out, because this actually shows a drainage, off of the street. It shows that drainage. And Stacy Wandra said it was by his house, which I've always felt that either this was on Cornwall Way or Wood Duck Street, which is the furthest street that backs up into the Treasy area and all that stuff, where he jumped the barrier and called 911. Tyler Vaughan did, per his words. So could this be Tyler looking for MJ? Could it? It could. We don't know. Because he did say, Brandy said it the other day when that mean troll came in and said, Tyler was in the drainage area or whatever. And she was like, yeah, he was. FBI knows this. He was looking for a monkey back there. And I was like, whoa. Finally, it's out there. Officially. Not just hearsay from the Twitter bitches. So, anyway. So, why is this manipulated? Why are they not wanting to maybe show the exact location? Because they know, if they don't know now, they know damn well I was going to try to find the exact location. And I think I do know. But Stacey Wandra says it is over by his house, that area, and I would have to agree. Let's just say that. But do you think, you don't have to see the nitty-gritty details. You're not going to see it anyway. This is some pixelated bullshit. And it even looks like it's cropped. You see that line right here? I digress. This is all alleged. I don't think that this guy looks like this guy. Unless they just squished it down and manipulated it a little bit to where you can't tell. Either way. Keep it confusing, keep it guessing. the goldfish driver of the Honda Pilot. Wink, wink. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. The goldfish from Israel. Wink, wink. But what do you think? Please tell me in the comment section what you think about the Walking Man. Are they the same? Am I tripping? Does that look like it? Does that look like an android? I must be tripping. I need to take my meds regularly. Obviously, I'm not. But that does look like an android. Anyway, don't mind me. What the hell is that? Anyway, I digress. So yes, Stacy is not lying about his lawyer, not lying about the possibility of being represented in court if he's charged with whatever crime they would place on him regarding Michael Vaughn's disappearance. And honest to God, Sarah Wandra would be eligible too if they charge her as well, because she has nothing and she is in jail. She's in Payette County at least until 2026 because she's not eligible for parole until then. That makes sense? So what else do we have? What else could you show, or could I show, to prove to you that this might be able to help? Because, the only reason why I'm showing you this is to basically lube you up for what's to come and lube the haters and the trolls up for what's to come. Because if they don't watch this and then they jump on the, I hate you, Eve, I'm really coming after you this time, with everything I got kind of shit, it's not going to work, first of all. Second of all, I'm just warning you that if this falls apart, if there is something that comes out to where they are at square one, we've got some work to do. Because when this happens in a case, in a missing child's case, this is where it typically goes cold. If nothing comes about this updated nothing burger, right? It's either, oh shit, okay, these people are not going to jail. Somebody starts speaking. Somebody actually starts speaking. Eve, I have been saying this is Tyler Vaughan walking. It could be because, look, if you have Brandy, and this is not hating on the family. I really hate hearing that. Hating on the family is threats, violence, all that stuff, and I wish no harm on anyone. Hurt feelings are not harassment. Hurt feelings is not the same. That is a completely personal problem and matter. But it could be Tyler. It could be because he was verified by the FBI on camera, per Brandy Neal's words, not mine, that he was looking for his son in the drainage area, and maybe, just maybe, he could be on this footage. And they just simply could not confirm that it was him because he wore pants 99% of the time. I mean, look, Mr. Tyler didn't really do much help or give much help with Brandy on the timeline when Twitter was eating them alive. So it would not behoove me that he could not remember much else. So, just a suggestion, just a thought. That is all I'm saying. Well, what else, Eve? That's not enough. Okay, hold on. Slow your roll. Don't get sassy. Don't get sassy. We have even more. Oh, wait, there's more. For instance, this one was a very interesting report. Hold on just a second. One moment. I don't want to put people's business out there. And I forgot to black it out completely. Sorry about that. I'll make sure to blur it out after this live. Sorry. All right. So this report is from 7/27/21 at almost midnight. All right. Almost midnight. From the laundry basket. Well, where's the laundry basket? Eve, what are you talking about? You get on my nerves. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But here's where the laundry basket is. And I have a feeling that maybe because Sarah Wandra, as I proved in my last live, started a laundry business for people who couldn't do their laundry and needed somebody else to do it for them, she would go and that started at July 11th, 2021. Stacy Wandra was the marketing for this. There's only one Facebook post of this. And I believe Brandon talked about it off camera, but I'm not really sure about that. Irrelevant. People were taking Michael's flyers off at this laundry basket, by the way. Very, very rude. But where is the laundry basket compared to MJ's home? It's on 200 South Kansas Avenue. How far is it from the house? 3-minute drive. A 20-minute walk. Not bad, not bad. A lot of people do 20-minute walks on the daily in the morning. Not me. I should. Hey, Mr. Eve. Well, smack my ass. What is the name of that song? What song? I forget. The what ifs are not being presented as facts. Correct. So 20-minute walk, 5-minute bicycle ride, 3-minute drive. Huh. I do know that there is a tunnel that you could walk underneath the highway because it's safer that way. So maybe this will come into play once I read this to you. Okay. So somebody calls. They're dispatched at almost midnight, but I want to make it very clear that this call came in 4 hours earlier. Do you see that? There's a 4-hour delay. For whatever reason, it might have been because there was a 911 call at 7:21 p.m. of a missing child. So if you think about it, almost midnight, 4 hours before that, that's about 8 p.m. Call was at 7:21. Police were busy. There's not a lot of police at Fruitland PD. It's a town of 5,000 people. I think there's, 9 to 11 people at the time. I could be wrong, but I think not very many. I know that. Absolutely. So what does this call say? Hang up, calling back. 3 seconds later, RP says she is in front of the laundry basket reporting party. Sees a man with a little child. Oh, shit. Not anymore. Well, damn it. This was 4 hours ago. The male was wearing a black hat, beard, and curly hair. What? You're talking like Walking Man? Oh, shit. Okay. The small kid was wearing a light green shirt. Okay, well, Monkey was wearing a Minecraft shirt, a blue one, but he had black boxers with lime green stitching. But a light green shirt is not a blue Minecraft shirt. The sun didn't set until 9, so it's not because it was too dark. All right. Hey, yo. Clever. Thank you for being here, Mr. Eve, and being an awesome daddy. Much love to you, honey. They're bathed. Man, he went the extra step. You the bomb. So, last seen walking on foot on South Kansas towards the highway. Okay. So, notifies, I think, Mr. Key, the other officer. Male was seen pulling the child along. What? Excuse me? What child? With a green shirt? What? Unless you're colorblind. Well, that's a damn good point, Bryn. I would hope that would be in the documentation. I would hope. It says that the report is 2 hours old, and then, which is really odd. So they block out all of the details of the reporting party. It says that the person that called in was male, but the reporting party was female. So I don't even know where to begin with that. All I know, yeah, wake up. Just kidding. 4-hour delay. So reported 2 hours later, 2 hours late. Is that what it said? The report is 2 hours old as of here. But there was a 4-hour delay getting to take notes, basically, get the witness what they saw. And we really don't know what they saw except for what is shown. There could be more. So I don't know what that means. I think maybe there's another report that is not listed because 3120 is another officer explaining that the report is old. So maybe there was a misunderstanding. What I'm trying to say is there's probably another report that Miss Eve was denied, more than likely. Yes, please put Chris's YouTube channel. Yes, please go check out Chris's channel and subscribe if you haven't. Good stuff. So that's what I think. However, that 4-hour delay tells me that it was because of the report when Michael disappeared, the 911 call. Very, very frustrating. So we heard about Stacy saying there was a kid that he saw that was definitely not Michael. Let's play that. I think it's important. He doesn't remember what he saw. He just remembers that it was short brown hair, blah, blah, blah. And again, I just think we need to figure that out, in my opinion, because there's something not right.
Are you there?
Oh, I'm here. Are you here? So let's see what he says. Let's see if I can find it.
Yes, dash cams, cab cards, the whole 9 yards. People use their own. I'm sure. I mean, did he have a trike or anything with him?
He was just doing his own thing. That made me very irritable because I was like, that's not even possible. I wasn't even. I
So
don't know.
when was the trip to Walla Walla?
He wanted to make some extra money out of it. The truck that filled up in gas and made the trip.
Publicly as a suspect. Who told you? And I mean, what did you think? I'm just reading
I'm going to play this for a second. I got to go refill my coffee because I'm struggling. I'll be right back.
in the chat now.
I was told by law enforcement.
Okay.
And it was all over the media. Instantly.
Did you have access to that when you were in jail?
No, we had a TV.
And what was your reaction? Because I'm telling you right now, I would shit and fall back in it if I saw that I was a suspect of anything on TV.
It made me very irritable because I was like, that's not even possible. I wasn't even part of this. I was very concerned, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't know how this is even possible. Like, wasn't even home.
Okay. So where you saw the child out playing,
Okay, I just came back at the perfect time. Jeep, you savage. She says Stacy isn't as eloquent eating in this live as you were on Purple's live. What is she talking about? I'll tell you exactly what she's talking about. Let's get petty here for just a second here. Back in the day, I can't remember what day it was actually. Was it September of 2023? I really can't remember, to be honest with you. But I went on Purple's live, Purple Phoenix or Mean Girls. I think it was the Mean Girls channel. Because I was like, enough is enough. The shade is getting too shady for this bitch here. I got to clear up some stuff. And I did. Very well, in my opinion. Let's take a little clipperoo of this so you understand what I'm saying. One moment.
So why are you talking about my unborn? You weirdo. I think that you have a problem with obsession with me.
Savannah or Maleficent. This is Purple or Mean Girls Live. So, Jeep, I was eating lunch because I was really hungry and tired of the bullshit. It was kind of getting boring on Purple's Live because I was owning their ass. So that's what Jeep is talking about. I was eating and you could hear me eating while I'm reaming their ass. It was great. It was great.
If you're going to call me a liar in the chat, go watch the actual proof of what I'm saying and then come back and then prove that I'm lying. Prove it. It's easy to go in chat and say, you evil witch liar. Well, of course, yeah, but you don't want to go actually look. Because you're scared you might actually hear something that might conflict with your heart. And that's not my problem.
Ouch.
Well, I guess my feelings are the parents are innocent until proven guilty, and for people to...
Yeah, that's Heidi. Oh, Heidi. And she's right. I mean, in her opinion, parents. That's it. Parents. It's all about the parents. All right. Cool. Not for me, though. So moving on. Nice little break. Here we go.
was it between, because I'm looking at the map again on another screen, was it between Arizona and Washington?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stupid question because I know you're a stand-up dude,
Evil witch.
but I know a lot of people are asking, if it ever comes to it, would you testify against those involved? And as you said this,
I would tell my story the way I remember it and what I know happened. From my, I will not speak on information I do not have exact answers to.
well, I mean, they don't put, psychics and mind readers on the
Preach.
stand, but I mean, pure.
Actually, Brooke, they do from time to time when they had to use one. And yes, FBI agents and law enforcement alike, do they pride themselves in having to do that? No. I'm sure they bow their heads when they're explaining a psychic told them exactly where to find said victim. But it has happened. Just saying. Meanie.
Facts.
Yeah, that's all I have. All I've been giving is what I have for you guys. So whether they want me to testify or not, I mean, I'll tell my side of the story just like I'm telling you guys. Correct.
Yeah, and like you said, you can't recall everything. I mean, hell, you've slept since then. You've been through a lot. So you saw this child on the sidewalk,
Mm-hmm.
and from there?
Just carried on our trip to Cuna. There was nothing unusual about it. It was a safe neighborhood.
Widow, you're amazing, by the way.
Was he playing with a toy or anything?
I don't remember that specifically. It just seemed like he was just doing his own thing. He was just being a kid.
Oof. Nope.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
I know he didn't mean to be COVID-19 all over the place, but dude, it hurts me physically to hear people cough like that. It makes me want to jump out of my skin, but it's not his fault. He can't help it. But just cover it up. Cover it. You know?
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're okay. You're okay. That cough just sounds horrible. Horrible. And I mean, for some people that can't follow, let's explain the taxi business. You don't have.
She was totally misunderstanding the chat. She did not understand the assignment they were trying to assign her, but that's okay. We're going to skip that.
Have actual cabs, credit card. Well, I mean, a lot of. Well, I mean, how did you know the child was playing? Cabs.
Correct. Cards.
Oh,
Like
you know.
credit cards?
Well, I don't mean credit card. Well, I mean a lot of cab drivers. I mean, if they
Yeah.
work for an actual cab company, they'll have a credit card to get fuel and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, like Sarah said, you guys weren't set up like that.
Uh-oh. We just used our own vehicles.
Well, I mean, how did you know the child was playing?
He was just doing his own thing. I don't know what else to say. There was nothing unusual about it.
Oh, no, well, I mean, it's an unusual day because it's a day that a child in the neighborhood was arrested. So yeah, I mean, of course.
That's unusual, yeah. But up until a point where we found out about him disappearing was very normal for us. I mean, we saw kids playing outside all the time or doing their own thing, you know. I mean, kids would walk the neighborhood all the time.
Oh, sure.
It was a safe neighborhood, you know, or it was supposed to be.
I'm sure. I mean, did he have a trike or anything with him? You know, like a tricycle, bicycle, anything?
Not that I recall.
Okay.
Well, like I said, the kid that I saw did not depict Michael.
Listen up real quick. Thank you.
At all. In fact, the kid that I saw looked like he had dark hair, like very dark hair, like mine.
Oh, okay. Okay, hang on.
Does anybody think in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you agree, and whatever else number you want if you disagree. Do you think that if I were to have asked questions, knowing what I know and what I have showed you so far, do you think that I would have asked what color the kid, the shirt that he was wearing? Do you remember the pants, shorts, hat, all of the details? Did you see a man with him? Did you see any other people outside of this child that you saw? That allegedly Stacy saw, Sarah Wandra saw too, because he corrects himself and goes, "Oh wait, yeah, she did see him as well, and it wasn't Monkey." I would have asked these things. What neighbor stopped y'all and asked about a missing child? Because it's not really clear. I have a great idea that it is probably the Blue Avenger and or the Honda Pilot. Maybe, because they come back into the neighborhood. See, they're from the neighborhood. Matter of fact, the Honda Pilot and the Blue Avenger literally are residents in between the Wandra home. One lives on the other side of them, and the other one lives on the end of the street. So it would make a lot of sense to me that one of those stopped in the middle of the road, if that is true, and spoke to them. Because remember, Brandon Shirtliff said, we stopped in the middle of the road and spoke to a neighbor who was coming the opposite way. And her and Sarah got out. Sarah and the neighbor got out and started talking. And then nobody really picked it up, but I heard, and it was the neighbor directly diagonal from them, which ironically is probably more than likely the Avenger people, who has the sketch uncle and whatever. So allegedly, everyone is innocent until proven guilty by law. Entertainment purposes only. So I would have asked that. Maybe, just maybe, it was an innocent person just trying to take a walk in 100 plus something degree weather towards the highway, pulling a child along like it was nobody's business. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm just paranoid or not paranoid enough. I don't know. And again, this was a 4-hour delay in getting the report because police were all over the place. Yeah. Well, what else was going on? What else was going on? Well, looking at the day before, looking at the day before that and the day before that and all that stuff, you got to check out everything that you can to see if maybe there is something that someone forgot to mention to police or, and again, I don't think that you should go after people and investigate for yourself, but you could definitely let the police know if they don't. No, there's no harm and no foul in that. Right? But sometimes you have to read in between the lines on these documents when you acquire them, and you have an obligation to not go out all willy-nilly with what you have, especially when there is new stuff happening and there's things, moving parts that you're hearing about. It's your responsibility not to go all out. That's why I say the informational highs that people, these content creators, give you all the time isn't always a good thing and does tend to fuck up cases. Summer Wells case. This is public information that you could get. Sometimes you don't get to have it all. You don't get to see everything, but it's good to know what you can and cannot do, and what you can look at in your neighborhood. Because listen, Michael Vaughan matters. His justice matters. Also, your safety and your family's safety matter in your wherever you live. And if you want to look and see what crime is going on, what 911 calls are taking place because your tax dollars pay for everyone that works at the dispatch, the law enforcement office, the attorney's office, blah, 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 you have a right to know where that money's going. If somebody keeps calling police because they butt dialed, right, and it's costing about $1,000 a year that's wasted, let's go to the town meeting and say, we need to get this person some help. What do we need to do to make them stop calling 911? Or there's a delay in reporting, delay in response times. We need to get better at this. So there is lessons to be learned from this. But also, since I have family and loved ones in Payette County, I think it's a good idea to research for them because they're older and let them know what's going on. And they had no idea some of this stuff that was going on in their neighborhood. Right? So what was going on? Well, all I can really tell you is that there were a lot of traffic stops that day. They needed to make their quota, I'm sure. Traffic stops are how they get they money, honey, from the fines. But here is the 911 call at 7:21. If you didn't believe me, now you do. It's right there. And that's what I'm talking about. And I think that if somebody knows something, if somebody really has any knowledge of what actually happened that day, what they did or did not see, and the police are dying for the actual factual information, you need to cough it up. You need to cough it up. Because I believe that people out there know exactly the truth. And it might take 2.5 years for someone to send in that one little piece of information that could break it all open. But until then, there are going to be people like me, for instance, and others who are going to care enough, and they're going to have to keep pushing the envelope and putting things out there to see if that will help, because they don't know the scope. When law enforcement doesn't tell their community anything and they're scared. Think about having to assume that you're safe because 4 people are caught or whatever. And it turns out they didn't do shit. And now the new theory is a predator, an unknown predator. And predators tend to live under the radar. And it's the person that you least expected it kept to himself. Blah, 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 blah. And here we go again. Right? Now, maybe law enforcement knows exactly what happened and they're covering it up. Maybe they know about exactly what happened and this was just something they had to do. They had to put this to finality to make them think that they were involved so that the real perpetrators felt a little at ease, more at ease to be out and about, maybe make a mistake. Either way, you need to demand transparency from your law enforcement, because if it isn't somebody like me who actually cares and thinks very, very hard about putting stuff out, there are going to be people that won't. There are going to be people that could give a flying about people's autonomy and not fucking up a case. Am I making any sense? And I'm not saying I'm special, but I'm saying that you have to push the envelope more and more so when there are no answers. That's what happens. It's just the way it is. No matter what you think should or shouldn't happen, it will. Shani, how do you testify about something you know nothing about? Well, I'm very excited to hear the interview from Stacey Wandra tonight. Again, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, and I'm sure it'll be broadcasted online. But you know your girl's going to cover it. You know your girl is going to review it and make a video on it and probably do it live about it, just depending on what is said. But I do want to know. One thing that I find very interesting. There was a property found call that's connected to the missing person call or the lost found child case that was created. So sometimes things will be bunched together with a different call number, specifically in this county. But it won't really give you any more detail. Did I request this information? Yes. Did I get denied? Yes, because it's an active investigation. And honestly, I didn't think I was going to get it, nor should I have received it. But I wanted to make sure, because if it's not part of the investigation and it means nothing, then it would be good to clear it up. And it's always worth a shot. So here's where I got the laundry basket call. I'm not making it up. I didn't make up a document, if you will. I actually got this one too. Shots fired call. somebody was pew-pewing like Yosemite Sam out on Little Little Road, thinking they were Billy Badasses, and then it just stopped. Suspicious circumstance at Wood Duck, right by the Red Wing, the road behind it. Somebody heard a little boy crying for help, and nobody found anything. This one was very interesting. I don't know how to feel about it. Still don't. So anyway, we can go over all of them. We can go over whatever it takes. Except for what I can tell you is ruled out in a sense. And I think that it would be only fair to explain and prove why. Like, for instance, there was a rando walking the streets, Mr. Vaughan. He's not mentally well at all and has a history of harming youngers, if you will, younger ones. But he is so mentally deficient in a sense of crazy that because of the trauma that he has experienced, that he was never registered. He was never made to register as a, pedo. And therefore, you won't see him on the list. However, after sleuthing for a very long time and waiting for those documents and working with Ontario, Oregon's PA office, they finally released all of that. And he was not around during the time of the, he was arrested. He was in jail. He was gone. But at one time, we couldn't get that because I'm sure they were having to investigate that guy, because it was weird that he was sucking on a pacifier with a visor on or something like that around Cornwall Way the day before. That is very alarming. Why is somebody sucking on a pacifier at 30-something years old? Which the irony is he was looking for his mental health counselor. So maybe that's why. What I'm trying to say is, yeah, I know, Shani, it's okay to be confused. Just know that what I'm saying is the things that I can prove and know to be cleared, if you will, I can't really say that. I'm not a fucking investigator, but what I mean is looking into things that are irrelevant. I'll bring it up briefly, but if somebody has a question, you are always free to email me and we can talk about it. It doesn't always have to be aired out, every little thing. If you see something, is what I'm trying to get at. And then maybe the whole point is to bring Michael home one way or the other, right? And not fuck up anything. But sometimes you got to push the envelope. And if it were my child, honestly, I would do anything to bring him home and put him to rest in a proper way if he is not alive. That's just how I feel. I think that's what the consensus of everyone, the majority, would feel like. Because that's what we hear during with cases like this outside of this one, right? Shani, sure wish my city Ellie would try for tickets on our main road. You should push for that. They have trouble faking the passion of being distraught, so they can't face the music without looking guilty. Are you speaking on Stacy, or the four, or the parents? Now, last thing before I go, because I've kept you way too long. What else could Eve possibly have that could help? I'm still not convinced. You just want to bring the drama back, you Twitter weasel bitch. I swear I don't, I promise. But drama will ensue in your ears when we play it. How is it going to help? Well, there are things that were said in these Twitter spaces that people were trying to get an understanding from Brandy. And sometimes Tyler would pop in for a second. Very, very quick second. People were trying to clear up some timeline issues because, again, they didn't have the timeline leading up to his disappearance, even a year later after Michael disappeared. So that's what people were trying to help law enforcement with, I guess, and Brandy, because maybe there was something that they could do to help. Because some people really thought that he was still alive. I mean, nobody had a clue back then. Shanie's like, ooh wee. We're going to go back in time. Good times and bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I didn't come in until February 2022, but allegedly October, November, December was a wild ride. Look, July 27th, 2023. So there were Twitter Spaces. If you don't know what that is, that's like a podcast for people that can jump in and out and request speaker to talk about things. And that's what Brandy Neal said, that she would like people's help. You know, I think people misunderstood that. Just share flyers is what she really meant, but don't ask questions over and over. Which she did do, but it was changing every other day. And she wasn't there that day, so how could she have known the timeline? Tyler was there. He didn't want to talk. He's a cuddly bear, teddy bear. He has enough hard time. He has social anxiety, blah, blah, blah. So it was very hard to get a clear, okay, what can we do to help? Law enforcement cares about the timeline, not the cuddly teddy bear. They want to know what they forgot or didn't remember, I'm sure, to help them, right? So I have all of those downloaded. I actually have it on my YouTube page. There is a specific set of spaces that were recorded that they're very long, but it has kind of all of the juicy stuff, meaning it was the beginning of the end for the Twitter Spaces to happen, because shit hit the fan in March of 2022. Hit the fan, and there was no more spaces. And that's where this Michael Vaughan case went to YouTube. And it is where it is now. I kind of like have a little bit of anxiety listening to this because I get so upset hearing this shit again. It's very, very intense. If I pull it up through my videos, it will literally crash. I don't know why Streamlabs hates me, but I'm going to try it anyway. Wish me luck. Julia XOXO, you sound a lot better, uplifting you and healing prayers. Thank you. It's still cold as hell, though. Very cold. I hope that you're staying warm, Miss Julia. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. I think I uploaded those Twitter Spaces in. Try to remember. I think the end of 2022. I think. I'm pretty sure. I just want you to see it. We're not going to go through it. I'm about to jump off. Parents recording of the timeline. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the last one. We'll just listen to a minute or two, and then let me know what you think.
Information is out there, and it hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's as simple as searching for that. Good night, guys. I just needed to say something because I was about to explode. So sorry, Crystal. This space has been amazing. Great space, really.
So every little thing that everyone's doing, continuing to share Michael's story, doing these spaces to, clear up the speculation, stop the damn speculation. Jesus Christ,
So, see, that's, I guess, where the misunderstanding was. That's Brady Neal talking. People were like, oh, wait, what? So when the questions were asked about timelines, it was totally agreed upon. Let's come back and let's talk about it so that everybody kind of knows the baseline of Michael's case, because nobody knew anything. He wasn't getting the attention, the national coverage, nothing. I mean, his first national coverage was News Nation in December, months after he disappeared. So I think people were very adamant to get her to speak. Please speak. And get the help that, Michael deserves and that her family deserves.
Those are things, no matter what, there's always going to be speculation. It's inevitable. We're humans. We have free will. That's who we are. But when there is factual information out there and it just keeps getting spun 10 different ways,
So at this time of December in 2021, there was nothing. There was nothing except for he was last seen, in Southwest 9th in Arizona, Blue Dodge Avenger, Honda Pilot, same shit. Same thing that we know as of right now, which is not much. So, hi, Jackie Jude. There was nothing that anybody could work with just to get the information out there. And honestly, people were looking into things already and it wasn't making any sense. And then you also have people in the background speaking to the mother going, what the fuck did she just say? Are we changing our timelines again? Da 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 dee. And I had nothing to do with that part at all. That was just brought out later. So the damage was done. And so that's how these Twitter spaces got so damn vile, because when questioned, it was like, just like how I got kind of attacked and people that had an opinion that wasn't very popular to others. What happened to me and others happened on Twitter to the original. And they said, fuck this, I'm out, when it came to YouTube, and I guess handed the baton to me and others, such as Harsh and TFA, etc., because it was just too much. And the haterade was strong. LaWanda Westbrook level, you know. So I think it's good that you, for one, understand the drama part came way before Miss Eve. Miss Eve had no hand in it whatsoever until April of 2022, when February of 2022, when I brought it to YouTube to be like, hey, this doesn't sound right. What do you think?
It feels redundant. Like, really, you could spend your time and energy following the facts, doing your research, and helping. Because, and I understand that, people think outside the box. I understand that aspect of it. But when you ask the same damn question 20 fucking times, it's been answered, why don't we beat that dead horse a couple more times? So, I honestly...
That's Tyler, by the way, that you can barely hear.
We're trying to be as open and honest with everything we possibly can be without jeopardizing Michael's case.
Well, I just want to say real quick, I have found you to be nothing but open and honest, and just your willingness to be interrogated by complete strangers. I think that should be really obvious that you just want to talk and, oh, my dog is barking, I'm so sorry. But
governments, your state representatives.
Good. I've learned that in the past 2 months. I have missed so much, and I do try. I try my best to go. details you share with me is between you and I.
Okay, so you're going to hear my friend
intention is not to
Sleuthy
make you
Goosey
uncomfortable,
talk.
to feel guilty or like you did something wrong or like you're.
And the reason why I want you to hear her voice is because you're going to probably get a little anxious about it. She's the one that backed out and said, get fucking bent. I'm tired of this. Because of the harassment and all that stuff. And going real life. She was the one that pushed harder than I could ever push. Although I'm almost up there. She was the one that kind of brought these things to light that I still talk about on YouTube. But this is kind of where things get muddled in between the à la recorder, Brandy Neal, the Krusty. And there's a lot of contention and still really unclear about a lot of things that happened back in the day. But just know that Miss Sleuthy, this is her voice and she's talking about her side of things. And you need to remember this voice.
A bad mother is that I want to figure out what happened so I can help you find your boy. So I know you know that I did. Like I would still be willing to talk to you. Like I would rather speak to you in private. And would have asked my questions in private. I think it's much more intimate, and this could be more of like a supportive thing. But like I do want to ask you questions, and I understand that being on the spot is automatically we go to defend ourselves, and it's taken a certain way, and that doesn't benefit anybody. Us trying to help you, or you trying to find Michael. So I won't keep bothering you about it, and I'm going to quit asking questions. I'm going to take my ass to bed because it's 1 a.m. But just know that like I'm available to you at any time if you want to talk. It can be just you and I. It does not have to be this, a public, and whatever details you share with me is between you and I. But I'm here. If you want to use me, I'm here.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you. I tear up, and
of talking one-on-one is the fact that, at least for me, like I know that whatever you give me permission to share, like I'll share it with people that I don't want.
I think honestly, I've proven myself to the fact that I will answer those questions, and we've done a couple of spaces. I believe that I have handled those situations very well. So if everybody can't get along, I'll be kind. I'll be politely assertive. Is that the right word?
Well, basically, for me, if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. You know what I mean? Yes. It's not so much you, like I'm talking to you.
I can't trust the world. I can't trust the world right now. Like I said earlier, in my opinion, nobody has privacy until my son comes home. So if your home has to be searched 100 times, your home has to be searched 100 times.
Okay. And then I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave it right here and go very soon. I promise this time. Do you hear that? Sorry. If your house needs to be searched 1 billion times, 100 times, again and again and again, it's my son, you're going to get searched. I get that. On a heartfelt level, I don't give a shit how it hurts your feelings. Even though at the end of the day, it would be very, very upsetting if police had to research things or investigate a whole ass case 2 years later because you were worried about this investigation tactic versus the other. So you heard that. You don't have privacy. You don't have no privacy until Michael comes home. But there is a big disclaimer notice that should have been put on that because I am living, breathing, walking proof that that is absolutely not entirely true. And there are consequences to those things. And I'm not talking about like getting a protective order or getting sued. I'm talking about being slandered and people falsifying your character, et cetera, like Purple, for instance. That is just, I guess, the price that you pay for sticking your nose in where it doesn't belong, which is very weird to me. That's a weird one. Please stick your nose in all the business you want if my son's missing. I don't give a fuck. So on one side, I do understand that whole, nobody's got privacy until my son's home. But that includes, unfortunately, you. a little bit, just a little bit, if you're asking for the help that you asked for. Now, if you want to retract that help, I mean, that's totally cool, but Michael didn't. Michael hasn't retracted any help or can have a voice to ask for someone to help him. So that's kind of where the lines get blurred, and people then have to make a decision as to if you trust my my reasoning for why I'm doing this, right? Sometimes you got to step on those toes, right? And be blamed for hurting feelings all over the place. Or not sleuthing correctly or putting out the information that was sleuthed with other people. They get to dictate what you can and cannot do, even though they wouldn't put you, they wouldn't save you if you were on fire. Let's just say that. And even sleuth you to the point where if you made a mistake, even if you didn't even know that you made a mistake, you will be doxxed. You will be harassed, doxxed, even worse than you could ever imagine with the actual people that did that near the family. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that stick with me. People that care about justice for these little people who are missing and that don't have a voice. Know that my intentions are that only and not protecting feelings, because you can't protect feelings of those who are missing. And you can't worry about what it's going to do to other people to the point where it stops you from looking, because that's just sad. And I wouldn't want that for a missing loved one. I know what it's like to not get justice for a family member. I know exactly how that feels, and it's very, very hard. So, guys, what do you think? What do you think about rehashing from the beginning to where we are now? Agree, disagree? What do you think? And basically what we'll be doing is breaking these beginning things into sections. And I think that an hour tops, maybe even 45 minutes would be great to just start slow into chunks so that people can dissect it. Maybe do premieres for them and talk and chat. Let's get the ideas flowing, because there's always going to be questions that the previous live had already answered, right? What do you think? Just let me know in the chat. If you're on the replay queue, put it in the comments. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Lovely mods. Thank you for being here. Chris, you are the star of the show. You did amazing. Thank you for what you did for Hunter and his family. And thank you, mods, for putting her channel in the chat. Brooke says, great idea. G-Girl says, I'm anxious. Yeah, I can't wait for the interview. I cannot wait for the interview. Tonight, 10 Mountain Time. Yo says, this investigation should start over. I agree. And no family member involved with the process. Yep. Because if this is a cover-up, oh, fuck. If it really is, or if somebody isn't doing their job properly, your girl will find it. As I say, guys, drink your water, hug yourself, hug your fur babies, grandbabies. Let's bring these missing children home, and I will see you on the next live. Bye-bye now.